Hello everybody, welcome back to Planet X News. This is Scott from the Nibiru channel. It is August 3rd, 2017. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, my clock just struck midnight. And we are already undergoing a tremendous amount of earthquakes. And I'm going to hold off a little bit and wait for some people to get into the live chat here, simply because I didn't announce this live stream at all. But under the current situation, we have some solar energy coming in from the sun. I'm going to go over a lot of that information with you, and I just thought that it would give us a chance to, chat for a little while here. And also, if any of you have questions, I'll have the live chat opened up and I'll try to answer these questions as best as possible. But while everybody is gathering in the live chat, I just want to say a few things, folks, real quick. Each and every day, my YouTube channels, they get attacked left and right. And I just want to make sure that anybody new to this channel fully understands that when you're in the comment section or you're in the live chat, you have to understand something. There is a major opposition when it pertains to the disclosure of any of this information. And I mean any of it. Just this past week, I made a bunch of discoveries. And, there may be a lot of people out there that just say, hey, who cares? That's fine. But you obviously care because you're watching my YouTube channel, you're watching my live streams every day. You're commenting in the comment section of all of my videos. So these people that say they don't care, well, they actually do care. The reason why they care, hey, maybe they don't want to talk about it. Maybe they want to be, Mr. Tough Guy. But the fact of the matter is, folks, each and every day we have things occurring around the world that are just beginning to be completely catastrophic. And, getting right into the earthquake situation. Now, I was just reviewing a bunch of information before I started this live stream. We have a lot of seismic activity that's been popping off in Yellowstone over the past couple of hours. And we're starting to have larger earthquakes. Not real big, but big enough to shake and do some damage. And I wanted to go ahead and go over this information because all of a sudden the solar wind has picked up to almost 3.5 million miles per hour. And we're going to be heading into another stream of solar wind in 2 more days. But right here you can see once again at Yellowstone, 48 minutes ago, magnitude 2.63, only 11.19 kilometers deep. Very shallow, very shallow. And if any of you don't know, this supervolcano, the ground, the land, it rises and falls, almost like a breathing monster. And they could monitor that from the air. They use that Sophia. But ladies and gentlemen, I've been getting a lot of emails from people asking me what they can do with their families, what they can do, for this situation. And folks, realizing that each and every one of you have your own day-to-day lives, and you don't have the time to invest into keeping an eye on the situation like I do. It does take a lot of work. It takes a lot of observations, a lot of computer time, a lot of thinking. And like I've said before, folks, I don't have to do this. I don't have to take the abuse from the YouTube trolls. I don't have to take the threatening emails, the threatening messages. But you know what? This is what I chose to do more than a year ago, and I've been investigating this matter for a long, long time. But seeing my planet ripped apart, well, let's just face it, it's rather concerning. And I've stumbled onto a situation that's just occurring, and I just wanted to bring that to your attention also. And we're going to get back to this seismic activity. But we have individuals that are going through the comment section of my videos and also the live streams in the live chat, and you have this individual that is emailing you and telling you things about me and my YouTube channel. And this is the way that the government uses these factions to to get to you people, to turn you in an opposite direction. And eventually, if we have any type of catastrophe and you stopped listening to the information, then you're not going to know what's happening. That's what they want. So for new people that are coming to this channel, because once again, our YouTube channel is moving forward like it always has, bringing you the best information that we possibly can. I made some more discoveries at 2 a.m. in the morning yesterday, up in the middle of the night working. I'm going to show all of that to you here shortly. But just so you all understand that there are a lot of others out there that, well, they don't want you listening to the information. They don't want you hearing any of it. Hello everybody, welcome back to Planet X. It's kind of sad. Kind of sad. You know, why would somebody not want you to hear information related to what's happening on this planet? That doesn't make any sense, does it? But they don't want you keying in on what is occurring. I'm starting to get a lot of emails and concerns about this solar eclipse. Yeah, it's becoming a big deal. I was thumbing around with the idea today that they may possibly chemtrail the living hell out of the entire United States, specifically over the path of totality of this eclipse. We'll see. You have tens of millions of people lining up to see what's about to occur. And just imagine what people might see. Can you only imagine what people might see? So we're going to see how the skies look during this solar eclipse. I have my thoughts about it, but the majority of those thoughts I'm going to keep to myself for now. So this earthquake map just updated right in front of my eyes. So let's see what just happened. Well, 57 minutes ago, we still have this earthquake, a multitude of earthquakes here at Yellowstone. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in so you guys can see this. You know, anything that happens here, folks, to me, it's a big concern. So we had a magnitude 2.78 3 hours ago, West Yellowstone. Magnitude 2.63, magnitude 2.79. And then a bunch of smaller little quakes that really aren't that significant. So this is Yellowstone, folks. This is what's happening there right now. And you wonder why you start to see this type of earthquake activity. And we do go over this information. Magnitude 4.2, 76 minutes ago in Edmond, Oklahoma. A lot of activity going on right in the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. Talked about this the other day, and I had a feeling that they were going to start seeing increased earthquake activity. Dominican Republic, 6 hours ago, magnitude 4.7, and six hours ago, a magnitude 4. Okay, I've been to the Dominican Republic, not this specific area where these earthquakes are. That's a rather mountainous area, very high elevations, but there are people that live up there. South America, west coast of South America, they're going to take a hit. Magnitude 4.7 in Peru, and multiple earthquakes down here for the folks in Chile. They don't seem to get a break, but they're kind of situated in a bad area. Magnitude 5.3 and a 4.3. And they're going to keep on getting hit non-stop. I would definitely expect some internet issues, power outages, and things of that nature that might come up here in the next few days. But there is something occurring. There's something occurring right now. So you can see all the earthquake activity. Everything you see in red has happened within the hour. A couple of deep earthquakes down here in the South Pacific, magnitude 5.2, only 62 kilometers deep. But if you take a look right here, this magnitude 4.4, it was 575 kilometers deep. That's a very deep earthquake, folks. And even though it was only a magnitude 4.2, the energy from this earthquake is going to generate all the way this way. And usually it will impact the west coast of South America. Once again, taking a look at the west coast of the United States, specifically California. You can see all these earthquakes starting to rattle. Magnitude 2.67, 46 minutes ago, and then up here in Mammoth Lakes, a pretty big swarm, but small. I'm going to zoom in here so you can see it, but it will start to spread out. You can see all these just in the last hour. They're small quakes. Magnitude 2.38, Mammoth Lakes. A lot of people will say, oh, blah, blah, blah. You know, that's all normal earthquake activity. Well, maybe they don't know any better. Magnitude 4.6 in Kyrgyzstan, you know, only about 50 kilometers deep. And then up here in Russia, 7 hours ago, magnitude 4.8. Some of the earthquakes that were along the Mid-Atlantic Ridge have been erased from this map because they were from more than 24 hours ago. But just showing you right now. Right now showing you what is occurring. And if any of you haven't seen this model before, this is the magnetosphere. Pull this open so everybody can see it. And what you're seeing right now is the solar wind. If you pay close attention to my cursor, up here in the upper right hand corner, excuse me, you're going to see the solar wind reach 1,550 kilometers per second. That is equivalent to 3.46 million miles per hour. That is almost quadruple what we normally see from solar wind coming from the sun. If you pay close attention to the front of the model, the right side right here, you will see the intensity coming in, hitting the bow shock, which is the red arch in front of the little black and white planet, which is our daytime and nighttime side of the Earth. The fact of the matter is right now, folks, while you're sitting here in this live chat watching me stream this information, our planet is being pounded from this solar wind. But yet you have these idiots out there, and I mean they're just plain idiots, telling you that there's nothing wrong, nothing you should worry about. You shouldn't be paying any attention to any of this information because, well, we're all liars. You know, we're not liars. But you can see what's happening. You can see these pretty large pulses of energy coming in. You can see the rise and fall of the solar wind. And we're going to go ahead and dump this model real quick, and we're going to move to another one. We're going to take a look at the actual magnetopause. And folks, you're going to see this thing get bent. This is not a good situation whenever this starts to occur. I mean, this is all in real time, folks, but it's in UTC time. Well, there you go. Not a good situation, but it's occurring again. So we just talked about this situation with our magnetopause, what, 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, when things were starting to occur once again. You see, folks, you see the pattern emerging. It's been emerging for over a year. But again, like I said, you folks are going through your day-to-day lives. The majority of the time, you have better things to do than to spend, 8, 10, 12 hours a day on YouTube. So when you can, you get the updates. Now, that's the best advice I can give all of you right now. If you're not getting notifications from my YouTube channel or the doctors, just make it a point when you have some time in your busy day to sit down in front of your computer or your cell phone or whatever and go directly to my YouTube channel and look for the video updates. That's the best way to keep yourself in the loop. But on this loop that you're viewing right now of the magnetopause, well, once again, it's being bent to hell. And that's our protective shield from this solar wind. And what you're looking at here, this is a very severe magnetic reaction to what's occurring. Heavily charged particles streaming from the sun, impacting the front of our bow shock. They're making it through. Trust me when I tell you that. And we're going to take a look at that right now. So that was the magnetopause position that we're looking at here. Now we're going to look at the magnetosphere, and this is the Y-cut model, as they call it. A lot of different things on this model. Now again, folks, this is all in real time. Now what you're seeing here is completely 100% abnormal. It's pretty bad, if you ask me. Those little black lines that you see, those are magnetic field lines. Those should be streaming in a nice pattern behind our planet, from the right to the left. But you can see those magnetic field lines are acting in a very erratic way. Why? Because they're reacting to other magnetic forces associated with the solar wind that are coming in. When you see the different colorations in the center of your screen, the blues, the dark blues, the greens, the yellows, that is the pressure, all of the pressure that you see passing by the Earth. You can read those to the lower right in the corner of the model, the colored gauge. So you could see the intensity and the density and the pressure that is being placed on our planet right now as you speak. And this has been going on now for several hours. People want you to think there's nothing wrong. Well, maybe somebody who watches this channel lives in an earthquake zone. Maybe you live near a volcano. Anything can happen, folks, at any time. All of this information that comes in daily, if you're paying attention to it, it could be critical for someone on this planet at some point in time. So, if people think that these YouTube channels that report on this information are just total BS, well, listen, that's their idiotic opinion. Just don't listen to them. You're smart adults, and you actually should know better. And I'm sure you do. So, as you can see, once again, you know, we're under the heavy solar stream, and it's probably going to get a little bit worse. You know, earlier today, I was viewing some information on this sunspot that's going to be coming towards our planet. And once again, just like they did whenever the sun gave birth to this monster, the sunspot AR 2665, they downplayed it. And they're doing it again, folks. They are doing it again. Now, I'm going to jump over to the SDO real quick. And I've been listening to some of the reports. I'm not going to mention any names, but listen. You know, these scientists and astronomers and these solar scientists, they can speak all the mumbo jumbo they want. They can give you all of their scientific BS. But the fact of the matter is, folks, this sunspot AR 2665, this monster produced 3 massive coronal mass ejections. All 3 of them, if they would have been Earth facing, listen, we would have been in serious trouble. Very serious trouble. But once again, it's coming around the sun, and in a matter of several days, it's going to start affecting our planet. They're saying that this sunspot is showing signs of very, very serious decay. So when you think of the word decay, you think of going away. But in actuality, I mean, you're visualizing it with your own eyes. Once again, when I started to observe this sunspot when it was first coming around the sun in the beginning, well, that's what all of the professionals said. Oh, don't worry about it. Just a sunspot. No activity. Yeah. And they downplay everything, folks, because the people that are watching, they know that you're listening. So therefore, it's very easy to get inside of your head by saying, hey, listen, don't worry about it. Go ahead, cross the street. There's no bus coming. Then the next thing you know, you step out in the street and you get run over. Well, that's what they want to do. They just want to run right over you, insult your intelligence. Not all of us are solar experts. Not all of us have been doing what I do for, you know, a long period of time. Maybe you're still learning. Fact of the matter is, they keep saying that the sun's going to sleep. There's no activity. Listen, I see this activity 5-6 times a day as I check for updates. You just watch my cursor right up here. You're going to see a massive solar flare shoot right out of the side of the sun. Several of them. Sunspots rolling around. And they say, oh, well, don't worry about it. It's decaying. Oh, okay. Well, on this model, folks, it doesn't look like much. You see the solar flaring and the plasma loops over here. Okay, but this is one model in 1 angstrom, and each one of these angstroms, it's a different view, and they're detecting different things on the sun, like extreme ultraviolet light. Here, let's go over to this model right here. This is the 171. Yeah, pay attention to this one. See, my internet's already starting to run slow under these conditions. Now, there you go. There's the current 48-hour loop of the Solar Dynamics Observatory. The view you're looking at there is the view that you have from Earth. Earth is just a little speck right below the equator of the sun as you're looking dead on at it right now. And what do you see to the left side of the sun rolling around? Do you see decaying activity with the sunspot? I mean, once again, folks, I didn't think this was going to happen this time. I actually thought that they were going to pay a little more closer attention and maybe for once tell the damn truth. Those plasma loops that you see over here, these big looping structures, those plasma loops, folks, they have to be over, reaching out into space, looping around and reconnecting. That loop has to be well over 100,000 miles high or long, whatever you want to call it, reaching out into space, looping back around and making a connection. It's a plasma loop. Those are signs of solar activity. A tremendous amount of magnetic energy, magnetic activity. And folks, the force of magnetism when you're dealing with planets and stars and the sun is of a power that you can't even fathom it. How intense and how strong this energy is. So in several days from now, I would say about maybe 72 hours from now, the monster that you're looking at turning from the left is going to start turning towards us. I mean, I hope it just fades away and goes away, because we're going to be facing that monster for a week to 10 days as it travels from one side to the other, with the Earth being dead center right where you're seeing this view. And again, you have these people out there telling you, hey, forget about it. There ain't nothing going wrong. Yeah, right. Let's take one more quick look at another angstrom. You get a better look. Now this is the SDO 211. Look at the size of the coronal hole stretching from the top of the sun all the way down past the equator of the sun. And even more of the sun's corona, which is this, you're looking at this lighter purple color. Maybe you just want to call it the shell, and the outer corona. Look at the plasma loops. I mean, that's pretty intense. Those plasma loops are reaching out, has to be over 100,000 miles or more. The surface of the sun, the diameter is, I think, a little over 860 or 890,000 miles. Pretty big, just under 900,000 miles in diameter. It's a pretty nice distance. But those plasma loops, they're reaching out at least 100,000 miles. The dumbing down of our planet. So this massive coronal hole here, you can see how it stretches all the way down. This was directly Earth facing for hours. And the solar wind does take days, 2, 3, 4 days to get here. Now, as of lately, it seems like the solar wind has been arriving later and later than predicted. And how would the solar wind change? Why would it take longer to get here? Heavily charged particles traveling at super high rates of speed. So if you have an opposition to that solar wind, maybe that would slow it down. But when you say things like that, people think you're crazy. But it's kind of common sense. So you have an opposing wind. If you have wind coming from the left and wind coming from the right, and the wind coming from the right is stronger, well, what do you think is going to happen to the wind coming from the left? It's going to slow it down like a buffer. Therefore, the NOAA and NASA predictive models will be thrown off in their prediction of arrival time. They'll be off by 8, 10, 12, 24 hours. And as of lately, they've kind of been off a little bit. But we know it's happening, folks. It's kind of hard to say what the powers that be are really out there doing. You know, you can only do so much and try to find as much information as you can and deliver it to people that want to hear it. You know, I made a short video yesterday about that crazy looking object that I found on the Soho C2 coronagraph. Looked like a big massive UFO. And I got these idiot debunkers out there making videos, opposing videos to mine, and telling everybody that it was Mars. And I just think to myself, okay, just because they pull up like the solar system scope or something like that, and they show you the solar system on a model, and they show you the positioning of Mars. So since when did Mars grow to well beyond the size of Jupiter and move across its path and its orbit in 12 minutes, traveling millions and millions and millions of miles in 12 minutes? But yet, you know, these idiots put these videos out, and they kind of try to trick you and make you believe that what I just told you was a complete lie. So the object was unidentifiable. I couldn't identify it. It had the telltale shape of a UFO, you know. And if you believe that there aren't other forms of life out there in our galaxy, possibly even in our solar system and our universe, you better wake up. It's impossible for there not to be other life out there other than us. But I thought the image was pretty crazy looking, you know, and I've been looking at the coronagraphs for many, many years, folks. I mean, a lot of years I've been studying this stuff. We're going to pull it up right now and see what's going on. But I have seen all sorts of crazy looking shapes that just don't make sense. They just should not be there, but they are. We're going to pull up some information on this now. You know, folks, when I don't talk a lot about UFOs and things of that nature, but you know, whenever you see something and I want to share it with you on my YouTube channel, well, then that's my right. It's almost like me, you know, picking up the phone and calling you and saying, hey friend, check this out. Look what I just saw. What the hell is this? So, you know, that criticism just, you know, pours out, and, you know, these other people want you to think, oh, this guy's crazy. But in fact, I'm pretty smart. So I think this UFO pops up, or whatever that object was, but it wasn't Mars. I think it was on this this section. Now, as you're looking at this coronagraph, you're looking at the sun, The sun's the white circle. Oh, I think there it was. Let me see if I could step back to this real quick. And you can control the video information step by step. No, that wasn't it. That was a massive object streaking by. Look at all the debris behind it. So as you're watching this coronagraph, you can see things streaking by millions of miles per hour. Small meteorites, small asteroids, whatever they are. Just a ton of debris. I could actually slow it down so you can actually see some of these objects zipping by even closer and in slow motion. And this goes at anywhere from 12 to 16-minute increments. NASA, they see it pretty much live, but they only choose to give us a portion of it. And what you're looking at right now to the left side of the sun, well, you can see a lot of solar flaring activity. And again, that's going to be coming around, and we're going to be facing it for probably about 10 days, maybe more. It all depends. So you folks can see right now, you can see the vast amount of objects just whipping by in the view of this coronagraph camera. And I've seen it 10 times worse than this. A lot of the objects, they're just completely unidentifiable. They streak through the view of the camera so fast. So what this one idiot was saying is this object was spotted up here where my cursor is at exactly, I think, 6 a.m. UTC time, and he claimed that it was Mars, and that in 12 or 16 minutes Mars went from here all the way across to over here, and by then it was just what he called a blip. Well, this guy has no credibility. He fixes minivans as a living, and he's a complete retard. But yet they continue to make these videos and, you know, try to discredit everything that's being said, because this is what these people are paid to do. Now, early yesterday morning, I was making some observations on some stereo imaging. And I found all sorts of objects that shouldn't be there. They all showed the telltale signs of being a small brown dwarf star, you know, encapsulated in clouds of gas. Now, you can't see those objects on this view because they have this object that you see me circling, not the white circle, the big red one, and that is an occulter, and that is to block out the sun so they can see things in the background. They can see this solar flaring. They can see a lot. And you also get to see all of these big space objects whipping by. It's pretty interesting, and like I said, you can end up seeing a whole lot of weird things flying by here and never truly know what they are. So what's the big deal if I show them to you? I'm sure you guys can make up your own mind on what you're seeing. But anyhow, I want to share some of these photographs with you of what I detected yesterday morning. I didn't have a chance to put these into a video yet. The doctor has already finished her book. It's being proofread. There's going to be some editing and some things added. And then, excuse me, it's going to go straight to publishing. Excuse me. And there's going to be a whole lot of people that are going to be really, really butthurt whenever this book comes out and we start publicizing it and advertising it. Because, hey, that's what books are for. They're for people to read. It will be available in a paperback form, and it will be available on ebooks. And it's going to be interesting. Let me tell you that. Hey, getting back to this UFO, here's a picture of it. If any of you didn't get to see it. Hey, what does that look like? Does that look like Mars? Yeah. Yeah, that's all of a sudden, that's the planet Mars. Mars is so tiny compared to this object and compared to the sun. Yeah, but they want you to think that was Mars zipping by all the way across the inner solar system to one side, from one side to the other in 16 minutes. Okay, buddy, tell us another story. But anyways, I wanted to share that with you. Now, this little piece of video footage here, this is what I was working on in the middle of the night last night. So if any of you think that the little planet Mars is going to move all the way across the inner solar system in 16 minutes, you're probably crazy, because it doesn't happen like that. And it's very clear whenever you see planets traversing and transiting across, it takes, multiple days. Now what you're looking at here was video information I captured on the stereo ahead EUVI 195 angstrom view. This was for August 1st, and I do believe I think it does lead into the 2nd, I'm not sure. But what I'm starting to do now, before they delete information, which they've been doing a lot lately, deleting increments of time, 4, 5, 6 hours. So I try to capture it before that even happens. So I'm trying to stay ahead of the game. But what you're looking at here is extreme ultraviolet light. So that's what this camera is detecting. And if you pay very close attention as this video clip rolls by, you're going to see a lot of little objects. They look like little white dots, but they're moving through the sun's corona. Right here, all around this area. Some of them may be right out here in the distance, but I'm going to show you all of them. I'm going to show you what they are. And then you make your own decision. Or you can go check out the information on your own. But folks, those little objects, they really shouldn't be there. And when you detect them, you screen capture them and you zoom into them, then you start to see what they really are. And I'm going to show you that. And again, you make your own conclusions. The other day, whenever I showed some of this information on the 304 angstrom view, which is the orange view, I had idiots emailing me and making comments and saying, oh, those are dust particles. And I'm thinking, wow. They make these real scientific comments and then they put an idiotic end to it. So those dust particles that you're looking at are the size of Earth or Venus. I mean, wow. But I'm going to show them to you. So you've seen what I was working on in the middle of the night last night. Just haven't had a chance to publish all of it into a video. So we'll jump out of this video. We'll start taking a look at the pictures. Now, those little white dots that you saw flying around through the corona of the sun. Let's take a look at them up close. I'll get it in as clear as I can for you guys. And if you're watching the video, go to your little video screen for YouTube, click on that little white gear. the little white gear icon, and click on it and set your resolution to the highest resolution you can. Because, you know, if you don't have that setting, you're going to be looking at videos in 360 or 480, which is kind of low. You want to always bump it up to 720 or 1080. Get your resolution higher. So this is one of the objects, the first object I detected, buzzing by through the sun's corona, and you can clearly see the white spherical object in the center surrounded by its own gas cloud. What type of little stellar objects run around through the solar systems of the galaxies in little dust clouds? I think they call those brown dwarf stars. You know, and folks, these could be something entirely different. They could be some other form of stellar object that's a dwarf star. We don't know 100%, but they have all of the characteristics of what scientists and astronomers and astrophysicists refer to as brown dwarf stars based on their research. Interesting, but it sure as hell isn't a dust particle. I mean, come on. A dust particle the size of Earth or bigger. Yeah, you'd need one big hell of a broom to sweep up that dust particle. Now, you could see, as I pan out just a little bit, you could see in relation to the sun, it's in the sun's corona, right where these types of objects like to be, because they feed off of the magnetic energy. They create a magnetic connection, and sometimes even a plasma connection with the sun, like an umbilical cord. It's like plugging your lamp into the lights, or into the outlet to get power. So you're going to plug into a more powerful source. Doesn't that make some sense? Let's move on to the next picture. The second object I caught. This one was right above. Now, what you're looking at here, oops, let me just shrink that down a little bit. You're looking at the sunspot that we've been talking about, this AR 2665. That's where the blue arrow is pointing to. And you're looking at the next object that was zipping by. And once again, you can see it's about the size of Earth. And it has a gas cloud around it, even inside of the sun's corona. What type of object can withstand being inside of the sun's corona? Certainly not a planet. It would basically disintegrate. But a star, or a stellar remnant, a core, would thrive in that environment. That's the absolute truth. It's not a lie, it's the truth. The sunspot you're looking at, and once again, I don't know how the resolution is on what you're viewing this on, your computer, your TV, your cell phone, but that sunspot started to react to that object. How can you tell? Well, you can see all of this activity stretching out. Now, I have a high definition computer screen, so I can actually see this stretching out all the way to about this point. Where is it in line with? That object right there. Interesting, isn't it? Let's look at the next photograph. Now I have two of them, and it has been proven by scientists using the WISE telescope that these brown dwarf stars have a tendency to cluster. Now again, I don't know how the resolution is on your computer, but you're looking at an object here and another object here. Look at the dust cloud all around it and all around this one. No changes have been made in coloration or contrast. I mean, I could do that right in front of you just to show you. Maybe we could see something a little more, but I haven't touched these images yet. I haven't had the time. We could look at it in black and white, and then we can clearly see those spherical objects and their gas cloud. There you go. We could put it into different colors or different contrast and try to brighten it up. Take more of the color out, add color, try to get some type of definition. It's difficult. It takes time. So if you actually do take away the contrast, watch what you end up seeing. Just two dots. But those dots are the size of Earth or bigger. If you add some exposure to it, you lighten it up even more. And you can see that dust cloud, that cloud formation, indicative to a brown dwarf star. And there you go. Take a look at the next picture. Now these two were right at the top, and this is the number that appears on the top of the EUVI video. That's how much I zoomed in on these. But once again, you'll see one here, and you'll see another one right there. Once again, you can see the cloud formation all around the object as it passes by the sun. Let's move on to the next photograph. Once again, here's a zoomed in object. Once again, right on the fringes of the sun's corona, enveloped in its own gas cloud. I mean, there you go, folks. I mean, I'm not making these things up. I'm no freaking graphic artist. Right after I captured this information, just like the other day, I emailed NASA. I emailed the administrator to the Stereo website. Her email is at the bottom of the information. And yeah, they're not too happy with me. They haven't been happy with me for over a year. I want explanations, and yeah, I don't get them. Go figure. Now, here's the next one I found. And folks, this was all occurring within a 48-hour period on August 1st and 2nd. Well, leading in from the 31st into the 1st and 2nd. Once again, you're looking at a telltale sign of a stellar core. Call it a brown dwarf, call it whatever you want, but it's there. It's about the size of Earth, and it's enveloped in its own cloud. Huh. Yeah, I penciled that one in. I personally think that these objects are in some type of a tight orbital pattern around the sun. It's just like a parasite. It has a host. I think these objects may be too small to actually acquire any type of breakaway speed to get away from the sun. If any of you, have played with magnets before in your life as a kid or even as an adult, you know that whenever you put those two magnets close together, the one that's more powerful, it's going to drag the other one right in. Well, we're talking right now with the sun and different stars and planets, we're talking on a much, much bigger scale. Energy that you couldn't even fathom. So these objects, I don't know exactly how many there are, but there's a lot of them. They interact with the sun in a bad, bad way. And I personally think that they could not break away now. They may be they may be becoming a part of our small little solar system. Start thinking of why there is this big, big push to colonize Mars, to colonize another planet. Dr. Stephen Hawking came out a little more than a month ago, made a public statement, and stated that the human species needs to find another habitable planet within the next 100 years. I mean, that's pretty bold for even Stephen Hawking. Some of you may not respect him. Some of you may not believe in him, but whatever. Believe what you want to believe. The fact of the matter is, we have these objects whipping around the sun, and they are interacting with the sun, and I have said it before, and I will say it again. The highest possibility and the biggest threat is not some planet crashing into our sun, our Earth. We have the major issues with the sun. Once again, this is at the top corner of the sun. You can see that object. It's enveloped deep into the corona, but you can still see its cloud. And over here, same thing. It's enveloped in the outer fringes of the sun's corona, clear as a bell. There's its core. There's its gas cloud. Yeah, it's a dust particle. Let's view the next image. Once again, lower part of the sun, you can see right here. Now, the sun reacted to these objects, and I'm going to show you the video clip which proves it. Now, once again, you have the core object right here in white. You can completely see that's a spherical object. It's about the size of Earth. It's enveloped in its own cloud. You can see the fringes, the outer fringes of the corona right there. Now this one's pretty interesting. Same thing. You could see the view of the sun. You can see the sun's corona. This object is, it doesn't look like it's directly in the corona, but it looks like it is approaching into the corona. Let's take a quick look at it. Does that look like a dust particle to you guys? I mean, let's be honest here. Hey, curious, do me a favor. These people that, you know, they're having their comments deleted, let all these people speak tonight. I don't care if they're swearing, making crazy comments. Let's just take a look at what they have to say, because these are the ones that really don't make observations, and let them be stupid. Make their stupid comments. So why are people pissed off? I'm reading the chat right now real quick. Well, just let everybody's comments ride. I mean, we can clearly see when people are making idiotic statements. Just don't pay any attention to them. Pay attention to what I'm showing you here. So this object was, it looked like from the view that it was just about to head into the corona. And these objects move very, very quickly. Very quickly. I mean, that's what they do in their natural environment. These are not little floating objects that just, you know, stay in one position. These objects are in a very tight orbit around the sun. Here's two more. You have one here, enveloped in its cloud, and this one actually looks like it has something else within its gas cloud, something larger than the core, and I'll show you in a minute. You have another one right up here, just outside of the sun's corona, once again enveloped in its own gas cloud. But this object over here seems to have another object within its gas cloud, an object that is much larger, but not emitting light at all. It looks very gray, it looks very dark. Let's see if we could capture it a lot bigger. You can see it right there. I'm going to try to maybe change a little bit of the color, and let's see if we can bring this object out a little bit and see what it's all about. I haven't had a chance to work with these images. You folks are seeing it for the first time. I'll just edit everything right there in front of you. Let's see if we could bring this object out. You could start to see it right here. And you see your other sphere right here. You could see it's enveloped in a cloud. I'm not too sure about this object right here. You know, I don't know what we're seeing right here, but there are spherical objects, and they seem to be in some type of a cluster. So we'll try to bring out a little more definition, see if we could see what it is. Yeah, there's definitely something there. Very, very hard. The images get very, very pixelated whenever you're blowing them up. And then on top of that, there was a lot of interference going on right at the time these objects were passing by the sun. I think we went through this one. Yeah. Now, here was another cluster that was passing by. You have one object out here, but then you have 1, 2, 3 in a pretty tight formation. And they're not dust particles, folks. Let's move on to the next picture. Here's another one. This one was at the bottom of the sun. Again, right outside of the sun's corona, which you see in green. Right there. That's about the size of Earth compared to the size of the Sun. So they're there. Here are two objects once again. Very, very clear. This object, once again, this was kind of similar to the one that was on the other side. It seems to have other objects with it. You can see the small core in the center. It's enveloped in its own dust cloud. There's a darker object right here, and there's another darker object right up here where the arrows are pointing to. And you know, listen folks, you guys can all find this on your own time and your computer. And you know, you just go to the Stereo website, start learning how to utilize it, put in your dates. It does help to have a pretty good computer and at least a high resolution screen, and also to, you know, kind of know what you're doing. But it's all a big learning curve. So those were two more objects. And again, this was all in a tight 48-hour period. And here's another one right at the top of the sun. This one was zipping by. I just caught it. And there you go. You see the small white core. You see the big cloud around it. This one was kind of odd over here. I don't know if it was moving so fast or what, but it seems, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 objects. Clearly, perfectly spherical objects. What is in that center? Probably part of the cloud, the dust cloud. You can see it's completely enveloped. But this picture here kind of freaked me out a little bit because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 objects? I mean, let's take a closer look at that. Let's see if we could change a little bit with the lighting and see what we can see. Well, there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's interesting. Very interesting. Now we saw these two objects. This object is very faint, but it's actually enveloped all the way into the sun's corona. Barely see it. Okay, I think we went through these. This is another one. You can clearly see the white core. You can see the very vast, distorted cloud that it is in. It looks like it is partially enveloped in the outer fringes of the corona, but it's there. Once again, it's about the size of Earth. Here's another one. This would be either at the 6 o'clock or 9 o'clock, or excuse me, the 3 o'clock or the 9 o'clock position of the sun, depending on which way you're looking at it. Once again, you can see the core, you can see the dust cloud around it. Once again, they are all kind of congregating on this outer fringe of the corona. Very interesting. And like I said, folks, captured all of these images about 2 o'clock in the morning yesterday. I just haven't had a chance to go over them and put them into a video. So that's why I decided we'll just go ahead and live stream this information because there's a lot of stuff going on. Once again, another object. There may be several clustered together here. And there's clearly another object right there where my cursor is. This one's pretty interesting right here. You can see the core object right there. There may be a few other objects with it. It's very hard to say because the imaging started to pixelate in the EUVI recording because these objects came in and it immediately interferes with the camera systems. Why? Because there's a ton of interference with the sun. And this will have very bad effects on computer equipment, digital equipment, these satellites, these space probes, these space telescopes. They do receive a ton of interference. I'll show it to you. I'll show you what happens. Okay, I think this object was very deep into the corona, very small, but you can see it's enveloped in a cloud and enveloped in the sun's actual corona. And people say, oh, nothing could survive in there. Yeah, other substellar or stellar stars, small dwarf stars, love that environment. Excuse me. Once again, the upper limits of the sun on the outer fringes of the corona. Once again, your core object right here, the white sphere, and clearly enveloped in a cloud of its own ionized dust particles. Here is another one. This was right at the top of the sun, right below the stereo ahead EUVI heading. Oh, what do we got there? There's your core. There's your dust cloud. Perfect formation. Perfect formation. You know, and I'll be honest with you folks, I mean, these are indicative to brown dwarf stars. A lot of scientists say that, you know, they're the size of Jupiter. They're all the size of Jupiter. That's why they use Jupiter as a model. But in fact, folks, you have to start thinking outside of the box. These scientists don't know everything. They are just still making discoveries on these brown dwarfs, all of their classifications, and other stellar objects. But they are definitely some form of a star. They're not a planet. A planet would not survive in the corona. They would just be, it would be completely disintegrated, evaporated as it moved in and the sun captured it and just pulled it right in. But these little objects, they have a massive magnetic field. They also are composed of very dense and high mass. So they are very powerful themselves. They can hold their own. So if you think for 1 minute that these objects could not survive near the sun or even in the fringes of the sun's corona, you are sadly mistaken. You better start thinking outside of the box when it comes to these objects. You better start going back and start reading new information that has recently come out, because that is what I do. And the doctor's been reading a lot of new information coming out from a lot of other astronomers, astrophysicists, and complete programs conducted at major universities around the world. Harvard and Cornell University both have some big leading studies going on with these objects. You have to keep up on the information, or else you're just going to be left back behind with old school information. But you're not going to tell me that's a dust particle. Now we're back to the UFO. I do have other pictures that I grabbed, and now in this photograph here, real quick, I'm going to show you what I mean about the interference with the camera systems on the stereo craft. Now you see how this is pixelated with these large squares all over the sun's corona, these big large squares. Prior to this, in the video, which I'll show you, prior to this, all of this coronal area all the way around the sun was completely smooth, normal looking. And then these objects, 1, 2, and this small one, 3 down here, and there may be another one right here. They come near the sun, close to the sun starts to react, and then you see all of this interference on the camera, all of this pixelizing, and not for just a few seconds, for several days. So you can see those objects. They're clear as a bell. There's one there. There's another one right here. And there's a smaller one right down here in the corner. This may possibly be one. This may be an anomaly on the sun. I don't have a clear view of it. Can't get it in any better resolution. Now, this is a black and white view. Same objects, more clear definition. Oh, what's that look like? I had some people commenting in emails that they sent to me, because I did show a few of these photographs in another video, and they're like, why are you showing people square objects? Planets aren't square. I don't even know where this guy came up with this stuff, but maybe he better get a better computer screen or something, because that doesn't look square to me. It looks perfectly spherical, and it is. Well, do we look at let's look at the object at the top. Yeah, that's a big dust particle, folks. It's just zipping by. So, you know, just to let each and every one of you know, I mean, this is what my day consists of. Sometimes, you know, many hours in the middle of the night, working clean through all the way through to the morning and the early afternoon. I maybe get some rest around 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon if I'm lucky. I can't blow this photograph up anymore, but you can see the object right next to the sun, right there. That object's actually the size of Jupiter. Pretty big. So as you can see, we have a multitude of objects moving through our inner solar system, and it's all associated with our sun. Here's the original photograph in the green EVU coloring, high ultraviolet, but you can see right there. Once again, here's a view of how the corona was pixelated on the camera by the interaction with these objects. One here, one here. So you see as they make their orbits around the sun, possibly, and once they get into the vicinity, the sun starts to react. It reacts violently, and you see the objects right there and right there. Now, this is some coloration changes showing you the gaseous clouds that were around these objects. So these were the objects I spotted a few days ago, and I've been very, very busy. Haven't had a chance to put a lot of this into a video format. That will be done, but you guys are seeing it firsthand right now before it's even been, you know, pushed into a video and uploaded onto my YouTube channel. But you can clearly see the core objects right where my cursors are, right where the arrows are. You can see the gas clouds around them. Some coloration changes, enhancements have been made to this set of photographs to show you the gaseous cloud or the dust cloud and the core object that we're looking at, which is the white sphere. Now, the gaseous cloud was taken away as much as possible. And like I said, I was working on these photographs already. But I took the gaseous cloud out a little bit so you can see the two core objects, here and here. Pretty clear. Now, this was coming off of the 304 angstrom stereo imaging, and this imaging is yellow and orange. The yellow is the sun, and this red is the coronal area of the sun. Now, once again, you see the core object dead center, middle of this massive dust cloud or gas cloud. It actually has a very specific looking formation. Pretty incredible. But they're definitely not dust particles. Here's another one here. This one kind of pixelized a little bit, but you can see the object right here, and you can see its cloud. There almost seems to be another object right there, and that may be the object that we should be looking at. You know, folks, we don't really know 100% what happens with these objects. I don't think anyone on the face of this planet does. Well, maybe these boys in blue at NASA and these space agencies, but, you know. Here is another object, once again, caught right near the sun just a few days ago, enveloped in a whole gas cloud. Or dust cloud, whatever you want to call it. Now, this is the same photograph. This is in high coloration. And there you go. I mean, I was able to get a really good view of this object. You see the core center here. And this may be either its gas cloud encompassed by dust or dust encompassed by gas. I think these objects have a combination. I think they're enveloped in this gaseous type cloud, and when they get close to the sun, I believe the sun is powerful enough to start stripping away some of the surface area of these objects, which then creates this big dust cloud around it. So I think it's a combination of the two. And you know, if these objects have been near our sun for a length of time, the sun would be stripping away little by little the surface area of these objects. I mean, maybe we'll get lucky and the sun destroys these damn things. But I don't know. All I know is they're out there. They're orbiting our sun. People do not want you to even think about that. Now, this was the same photograph. This was inverted. You can see the dark core and the two different colors. That's why I was thinking that there's a high possibility that these objects are enveloped in a gas cloud and there is a formation of a dust cloud when they get very, very close to the sun. Again, I think their surface area may be getting stripped off. You know, like they claim with Nibiru, the debris trail being over 1 million miles long. I mean, this may be some of the information that we're looking at here. These objects getting close to the sun, having that bold interaction with the sun, and possibly having some of their surface area stripped off. It's forming debris clouds, and these objects are already enveloped in a gas cloud. So I think what you're looking at here is probably a combination of the two. Do I have hardcore evidence of that? No. Just my thoughts. Here's another photograph, same object, and I kind of centered in on this object because I was able to get a much better perspective of it as far as zooming in. And what I was trying to do was distinguish between, it looked like, two different forms of a cloud formation. Again, either dust or dust and gas. So once again, pretty interesting. Maybe this is what the guy was talking about when he sent me the email, why am I showing people square objects, claiming that they're planets. Well, I never claimed that they were planets, and if you're that much of an idiot that you don't understand when you zoom in on a digital photograph and you zoom in and zoom in and zoom in, things are going to turn into a square, and that is what a pixel is. It's probably what your head looks like, a freaking square. But anyways, folks, you can see the core object right here in the white, and once again, you can see either the gas or dust cloud. Now, here's another picture of it, and this one did pixelize. Yeah, maybe that's why he sent me the email about the square objects. But seriously, he must really have a square brain. So another black and white. I was really able to key in on this object because I was able to get some good clear images of it. And I mean clear as in this is about the best you're going to get with, you know, my equipment. Now, this was an actual picture, screenshot, that I took of the stereo ahead EUVI, and those were the photographs that you just looked at. Now, once again, remember I told you on the green imaging that you just looked at, you see the coronas all pixelated. But on this imaging, it's usually not like that. It's usually soft, you know, soft looking, no jagged edges, a nice corona around the sun. When these objects get close to the sun in their orbits, it affects the sun. When it affects the sun starts to affect the imaging equipment on these craft. It does it to the SDO. It does it to the stereo satellite or craft. It does it to the coronagraphs. It does it to all space equipment. All of you want to do a test? Go buy a big magnet. Go buy a big magnet. You could order them online. Big ones. You know, about the size of a cigarette pack. Powerful. Go lay it on your computer. See what happens. You'll start to see the power of magnetism. But in the circle here is this object that we were just viewing in the past photographs that I was just showing you. And I'll zoom in so you can see it. You can see the object. It's about all I can get zoomed in there. You can see the core object in white. Right there. You can see the gas cloud. No color changes. Nothing has been done to this photograph except the circle. That's it, the yellow circle. Oh, this was just a photograph of the big sunspot, AR 2665, that they told all of us here on planet Earth not to worry about. This was a beautiful high definition telescopic view of the sunspot as it was passing by Earth several weeks ago. Now it's coming back around. But those were the objects that I just recently found in this this stereo footage. And yeah, NASA doesn't like it, man. They don't like it. Because I emailed them and I said, hey, what is this? And then they immediately deleted it. I showed these photographs the other day in a video. I labeled this video Planet X Skies, or excuse me, Planet X Sunsets. Just before our live stream, I walked out on my back deck and I snapped a few pictures of the sun, and this is what I came up with, folks. This was it right there, man. What in the hell is that? Take a look at a couple more of them. This one was inverted. Pretty weird looking. This was in black and white. I'll zoom in for you. You can see how crazy that thing looks. No changes other than just flipping it over to black and white imaging. Pretty freaky looking. Oh, that was the object that was captured in one of the coronal mass ejections. I think this was the second one that occurred. That everybody thought that it's part of the plasma ejection. Yeah. Yeah, it formed a big, gigantic, massive object. Perfectly spherical, with other objects around it. All of those little stellar cores that we're looking at, they're everywhere. Where is this big bad boy? In our solar system? I don't know right now. I wish I did. Could an object that size be that close to our sun? Some scientists and astronomers and debunkers, they say absolutely not. But who the hell are they? Have they observed an object like this before? Do they have detailed composition reports on this object to make those statements? No, they don't. I don't even think NASA does. You know, a lot of you saw the photographs that were sent in to me by my German friend here that resemble the object that I captured back in May of this year. I had one idiot send me an email and tell me that that was the biggest blue lens flare that he ever saw, and that I should stop showing this information to you people. That don't look like a lens flare. Looks like a big massive object not too far off from our sun. Yeah. Alrighty then. Tell me something else. Let's go ahead back and we're going to check the earthquake situation, because we are still under this heavy solar wind stream, and I'm kind of curious what's happening. There were some earthquakes over there at Yellowstone that I was concerned about, and I want to take a look at. Okay, so far nothing else has come through. This was the earthquake we were looking at a while back, still just a magnitude 2.63, but there was a swarm of earthquakes here. Oh, we have something that just went off here in Japan. Magnitude 4.5, 56 minutes ago, 55 kilometers deep. I think we're going to see more of this, folks, in the next couple of days, if not overnight and into the morning hours. Things are definitely occurring. No doubt about that. As far as this sunspot goes, folks, you know, you could listen to whoever you want to listen to. The fact of the matter is, we dodged several bullets already from this bad boy. And who is to actually say, you know, what's really occurring out there? None of these people have all of the answers. Even with all of the technology in this world and then some, the sun is a star. It is and always will be completely unpredictable. The only thing that we can do is theorize and possibly forecast based on observations. And what you're looking at right now, well, that to me looks like a very, very, very active sunspot that's not decaying as they're already stating. To me, it looks like all hell breaking loose. Once again, those plasma loops coming off of the sun are at least over 100,000 miles coming off of the sun out into space. Massive amounts of energy. To me, that does not look like a decaying sunspot. And as you can see, in the next several days, we're going to be staring right down the barrel of that sunspot, and we have already seen 3 times in the last 3.5 weeks what that sunspot can do. It has produced 3 massive coronal mass ejections. And we're going to be staring down the barrel of that monster for probably a good week, 10 days. It's coming. I hope it just burns out. I just hope it goes away. But you can see, folks, that the interaction of these objects around our sun, you can easily see how the sun reacts to them. That's what we're looking for. The powers that be, they don't want you having the information. They don't want you studying the information. They don't want you raising eyebrows to these possibilities. They'll make up anything or do anything to stop you from thinking that this is actually occurring. And I have a lot of thoughts about this upcoming solar eclipse. I mean, I think if they have anything to do with it, they'll chemtrail the living hell out of the entire sky all along the path of totality, so people cannot see what's really out there. I'm going to leave this run for a few minutes, folks. I'll be right back. Okay, folks, sorry about that. Had to make a pit stop. But anyways, folks, as you can see, we definitely have some things to think about, some things to worry about, some things to observe. That's what I like to do on my channel. I like to make these observations. I like to bring you the information as I see it. You know, and after coming together several months back with our physicist, she's actually been able to shed a lot of light into my mind on some of the scientific background and possibilities of what we're seeing. I know a lot of you are looking up into your skies and you're taking pictures, and we're all seeing these crazy looking sunsets, these bright pink magenta skies. For once now, we're all starting to look up. And that's a key factor. For all of our lives, we've been looking down. Now we need to keep looking upward. You never know when you're going to take that picture, and you may photograph the smoking gun. Very important. You know, today I sat down, I had thousands of emails. I still have over 5,300 emails to try and get through as more and more keep coming in. And I do try to get back to everybody. It's a pretty extensive process getting through that much information, and also keeping up with what's happening each and every minute of the day. And like I said, the doctor has finished her book, and we're going to get that out there to the public. And you know, as of lately, once again, I put up a video today for the doctor's reports, and she just actually completed 2 more reports. So she's added to the list, and now there are 12 reports out there that if anybody wants to purchase those reports, and they could take those reports and you own them, and you could utilize them on your own YouTube channel. And yes, yeah, there's a $10 fee. I'm sorry. But let's just face it, folks. There's nothing in this life that is free. You don't have to buy them. You can just simply watch the doctor's report on her YouTube channel or mine. But if you want the opportunity to have the report in your computer or in your hand, for you to start to utilize those reports in your videos, then you can do that. And you can help spread the word. Start becoming the teacher for others. And in the same time, you'll start learning more and more yourself. That's why we decided to do this, and give the people out there that want the ability to have a professional report by a professional physicist with 17 years of lecturing, a woman with 2 master's degrees and a doctorate, a very, very smart person. Not some guy who fixes minivans, not some idiot that sells used cars, not some guy down in New Zealand sitting on, workers' compensation. You're talking about a professional. A professional in physics. And she has studied astronomy and some astrophysics. She wanted to be an astronomer. Don't forget that. Her parents bought her first book on astronomy when she was 9 years old. So the doctor wasn't playing with baby dolls. She actually had a conversation with me the other day. She even said, my parents got me, them baby dolls, and I didn't like them. I wanted a telescope. Do you know that this woman at the age of 12 years old, built her own telescope? She built her own makeshift telescope to look at the sky at the age of 12. So, we've had some pretty deep conversations as of lately. Some people may think that she doesn't know what she's talking about. Okay, you have a right to your opinion. What's your background? Oh, you don't have a master's degree in physics or astronomy. Oh, you haven't studied any of this. Oh, you don't have a doctorate. Oh, you haven't lectured as a professional, a professor for 17 years. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Everybody's, have the right to your own opinion. Whatever. This woman has been working very, very hard for over a year now. She has made some very, very big decisions in her life. leaving her home country, leaving everything that she's acquired, left it behind because some idiots wanted to ruin her career. But you know what? We spoke the other day. She's actually happy that they did what they did to the university and her, because that set things in motion to bring her to the United States of America, to have more freedom and see things that she's never seen before and experience things that she never even imagined, and to give her the peace and security to sit down and write this first book. People say, oh, well, if the end of the world's coming, why is she writing a book? And then why does she want to sell it? Who in the hell ever said anything about the end of the world? I've never said it, other than if we get hit with a kill shot from one of these CMEs that's directly Earth-facing. Listen, I'm not the only one saying that. They've been saying that since, what, the early 1900s. What makes me any damn different? NASA says it. Oh, but that's religious. The fact of the matter is, this woman had enough balls to step up to the plate, put it all on the line, and get out there every day. And, you know, before in her career, she would have an 8 to 10 hour day, lecturing, you know, writing her reports for school, putting her lectures together, tests, things of that nature. You know, that professor stuff. She would always bring her work home. Work at home, not being paid by the university. Not being paid. And now, she's putting in a 12 to 14 hour day, 7 days a week, writing that book, writing reports, making her YouTube videos of her reports, and sharing time with me on live streams to bring all of you folks this information. So you have these others out there that are going to, you know, say, oh, selling a report, oh, now you're selling it? Well, the answer is yes. If you would like to own copywritten material, like you buy a CD, you buy a DVD, well, it's the same damn thing. You don't bitch and complain when you have to park and put money in the meter, do you? Because that quarter can turn into a parking ticket worth 25 bucks. So, folks, if you want to purchase those reports, check them out. She's just added 2 more reports, and I'm going to update that tomorrow morning. And we've got a tremendous response from it. I mean, that was a large portion of what I was doing today, was answering all of the emails, completing the transactions for the reports. We even had one lady that said, oh, wow, she's completed 10. Well, you know what? I want all 10. And she's going to utilize her YouTube channel to start spreading the word. So what we're trying to do is create a network to get this information out there. And yes, we understand that not everybody can afford to do that. That's just perfectly fine. But you still have access to her videos on her YouTube channel, because she'll be delivering those reports on her YouTube channel for free. And if you want to own the damn report, you have a chance. So everybody tries to, twist it into evil ways. There's nothing evil about it. There's nothing twisted. Reporting on Planet X and what's occurring, in our solar system and what's happening with our Earth and our Sun. Yeah, it's cost me plenty of money. New programs, new computer, new cell phone, new security. Yeah. Membership fees. Fees everywhere. Yeah. Do I bitch about paying them? No. Are any of you paying to watch my YouTube channel? No, you're not. Is anybody paying to watch the doctor's channel? No, you're not. YouTube does have a premium pay-per-view option. I could turn both of these channels, hers and mine, into paid premium content like Steve Olson does over there with his WSO website. $25 a year, paid content. You're going to see something special. Pfft, the hell out of here. Everything that you need to know related to this subject, you're going to pretty much see it here. That's how knee-deep in this myself and the doctor really are. Spending 12, 14, 16 hours a day, putting your life on hold to do this. But it is what I chose to do, and it is what the doctor chose to do, and we're doing it. I cannot wait till we begin the public speaking seminars and traveling across the country. I'm telling you, folks, that's going to be interesting. That's going to be very interesting. And at that point in time, no one's going to be able to stop you from saying what you want to say. I can't wait. The doctor is going to be putting together a complete program for these live appearances, these conferences, these seminars, whatever you want to call them. It's going to be packed full of information. And as new information comes about and we visit different cities and states, we're to continue to divulge all of that information. That's going to be interesting. I have so many people emailing me on a daily basis as of lately, begging us to make sure we come to their city or someplace close to where their home city is. And we're going to do that. We're definitely going to do that. Be a lot of coordination efforts that have to be put into that. But in my past career, I used to do all of that. And I cannot wait to publicly speak again. Seeing someone in person is a hell of a lot more powerful than listening to a voice on YouTube. I'm looking forward to it, and so is the doctor. And she's used to public speaking, you know, lecturing for 17 years. You better get used to it. We're going to put together a really incredible video presentation that she will narrate right in front of you, pointing out the evidence and the discoveries that we've made over this past year. And I keep making them. We have some very interesting times coming around. Do I think it's going to be the end of the world? I don't think any of us will see that in our lifetimes. Our children's children may see it. I don't know. There are way too many variables to make that kind of a statement. Be very leery of YouTube videos out there with crazy headings. You know, they're just clickbait telling you, oh, you know, I just saw a video the other day, some guy copying my YouTube channel name and putting videos up stating that Nibiru was under the earth. And I look at that and I see this guy got like 150,000 views in 2 days. So people fall for that. But then they watch the video and it's just a bunch of little clip art. So he got what he wanted, you to click on the video, watch several minutes of it for YouTube to classify it as a view. Clickbait, that's all it is. I try very, very hard to title my videos to exactly what they are. I think in the days and the weeks and the months to come, we're probably going to see a lot of things that we never imagined. I had one gentleman email me today, a very heartfelt email, talking about himself and his wife and their 6 kids, and how he wants to, you know, be around to make sure that he sees them through their life, experience grandchildren. He's a, you know, sounds like a really great family man. His email sounded a little fearful, but like I tell everyone else, folks, we don't have any control over any of this. None of it. We can't do nothing about it other than learn about it. Remember my saying, man, knowledge is power. The more we know, the better off we're going to be. We can't stop an asteroid from impacting and, you know, causing massive destruction. We can't stop the weather from creating chaos around the world and causing people to lose their lives. We can't stop what is happening on the sun. We cannot stop these objects from coming in or orbiting our sun or creating reactions to our sun that affect our planet. We cannot stop any of it. Will it destroy the earth? Anything can destroy the earth. Will we all die tomorrow? I doubt it. Will it be the end of mankind? Deep in my heart, I don't think so. But I do think that we are in for some trying times, and the possibilities of seeing and experiencing things that you never even imagined are a very high possibility. The only thing that we can do is continue to dig into the information, observe what is happening, and report it to the people who want to listen and learn and keep themselves up to date on the subject matter. What in the hell is wrong with that? You turn on CNN, they produce more fake news than all of YouTube. Listen, folks, we need more of a team effort. We need more and more people reporting on this subject matter. Just not me. There are a few channels out there that do a pretty damn good job of keeping up to date with what's happening. Are they making major discoveries? Well, I'll leave that up to you guys to decide that. But that's what we're here trying to do. Myself and our physicist. She does a great job. Some things are theory, but that's what physics is. It's a science. And a lot of science is based on theory. And then proving your theory. Remember one thing. You're not alone out there. We're all in this together, whether you personally know each other or not. We all inhabit this planet we call Earth. There are good people and there are bad people. You just have to decide which side of the tracks you want to be on. You want to help publicize the information? You want to utilize some of my material, what I find? Hey, no problem. Go over to the Planet X Facebook page. The link, it's in the description box under every one of my videos. You want to use some pictures? Use the pictures. You want to show the evidence? Show the evidence. If you don't have the time to do the observations, hey, shoot me an email. Hey, Scott, you mind if I utilize those pictures? I send people a lot of photographs. I have people from several European countries. They ask me, hey, you mind if I use those photographs? I want to show everyone. I want to put them on my Facebook page. I want to tweet them. I want to put them in a video. Hey, go right ahead. Do I worry about credit? No, I don't. I'm not in this for the notoriety. I could care less. Now, if you're a YouTube troll using my videos to make fun of me or the doctor, well, that's a different story. But you want to help? You want to help the situation? You want to help the cause? Start using your YouTube channel for this, or some of it. I mean, you could be like at Chris Potter now. I mean, he's he's over there doing these freaky videos about online dating, bathing his rabbit, taking a road trip to the beach, slandering the doctor and me, and acting like a complete fool. If you want to be like those people over at WTF Sky, because I saw a bunch of traders over there earlier in the Chris Potter live stream and the WTF live stream, and I saw some of the people that frequent my live chats. Now it makes me wonder, are they over here on my side of the tracks for the truth and the observations? Or are they just over here as little YouTube spies? I can care less. You can sit here, listen to me for 2 hours, and move over to another live stream, to an opposition, and talk all the shit you want. It doesn't faze me one bit. But that just goes to show you your own character. No loyalty, no trust. That's not someone I want on my side. And I don't think any of you would either. Very interesting times coming up, folks. Very interesting times. But we will be right here with each and every one of you to show you what we're coming up with. I would advise all of you, if you don't have time to make your own videos, if you're not good at it, you're not good at speaking, whatever, share these videos on your Facebook page or your Twitter. Maybe type in a little explanation of what you want people to see above the video. Because they can't stop all of us as a team. We'll just be too unstoppable. Power is in numbers. When it's all said and done, folks, the only thing that you're going to have are the people that you trust, the people that you want to keep close by, your team. Are you really, really going to trust someone that flip-flops from one side to the other? I wouldn't. I don't. I'm not one to turn the other cheek either. And I'm definitely a man who believes in an eye for an eye. Maybe some people don't like that about me. I'm sorry. But I'm not a pushover. In the next 10 days, as this sunspot moves across the face of the sun and our planet, hopefully things die down as far as the activity goes. We'll be watching it very, very closely. But listen, folks, I'm going to go ahead and end this live stream. I'm glad we had a chance to go over some information, a time to talk, or just listen to me talk. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to live stream some Earthquake 3D, the Earthquake 3D tracker. I think the possibilities of some earthquake activity, seismic activity coming in over the next 24 hours is definitely going to be pretty big, high possibility. If a lot of you enjoy the live stream chat, that chat will be open. Feel free to congregate and talk amongst yourselves. If you happen to run across one of these slimy trolls running through, making comments and things of that nature, just simply move on, pay no attention to them. Myself and the doctor will be back with all of you early tomorrow morning. I'm sure there will definitely be something to report on that's notable. We're going to start going into a lot of information pertaining to this solar eclipse. I've been compiling a bunch of information over the last couple of days, and the doctor's written a complete report on this solar eclipse. She's been delving into a bunch of this information also. So we're going to have a couple of reports on this this solar eclipse. Also, on Friday, I don't know exactly what time, but Prep Aussie is going to be joining us. He's uncovered some more additional photographic information he wants to share with all of us. So he's going to be on a live stream with us. I do believe it will be Friday, probably Friday morning, his time, maybe. Because we have a 13-hour time difference, so we're trying to work that out, but all of you will know. So make sure you have your notifications set up for my channel, the doctor's channel. And if any of you aren't subscribed to her channel, her link's in the description box, or it's on my front page of my YouTube channel in the featured channel section. Prep's over there, Jeff P, Pete from over in the UK, and the doctor's channels. Just click on them. You can go and subscribe. But I want to thank each and every one of you for hanging out with me for the last couple of hours and taking in this information. Hey, this is what I do. This is what I do. Call me the messenger. Call me a watcher. Some people call me an asshole. It's just a name. Fact of the matter is, we're here for a reason. You're looking at it. I wish all of you a very good night. Once again, thank you for joining me tonight. And stay tuned. This is Scott from Planet X News and the Nibiru channel. Once again, thanks for watching.